Welcome to the Fake Marketer.
Thank you for having me.
Normally he's here, give me shit. So I could have said anything then, and you'd have been happy with it. Today we're joined by, I'm very excited for this, because this is someone that works for Lecture Marketing.
Let him out of the cage.
No, Fraser's out of the cage. But it's Fraser Sweeney, project manager, and Klaviyo specialist in the agency.
Somewhat specialist, but pretty special.
Somewhat. Are you not going to take specialist?
Not just yet. I would say jack of all trades with marketing automation.
So if we were doing like Premier League, are we saying you're like Championship or League One?
I would say Championship.
Championship. Mid or top tier?
Depending on what platform.
Klaviyo. We're talking Klaviyo today.
Top three.
So you promotion.
Yeah.
We're pushing for promotion.
Pushing.
Okay.
But across the whole board though, there's a number of different platforms which we can talk about.
We can touch on a little bit, but
can touch on a little bit. But Klaviyo especially, this is one that has been building up, I think, quicker than any other platform I've ever used. Actually, I think it is the easiest, most intuitive platform for e-commerce.
Do you know what I love already? He's already used big words, intuitive. We don't normally get big words.
It's a start of the clip already.
That's it, intuitive. Yeah. That's it.
Just
intuitive. Like, intuitive. What a lovely word. So before we go on to Klaviyo, Fraser, what do you do here at Lecture Marketing, and what's your background? Quick intro.
Quick intro. So my background is email marketing. So did that for 3 years, and then that was specifically within the project management space. And then coming over to Let's Run Marketing, did a bit of social stuff like that because we were grabbing lists of people who have bought recently, pushing them through to lists on Facebook, so we didn't market to them, didn't waste our money. Yeah. So knew a bit about it, but really, email marketing was my bread and butter. But yeah, project manager. Essentially, what are we trying to do? How long do we have to get there, and how much is it going to cost, or how much can we spend to get to that final bit?
Yeah.
And then again, what do we need to do to make whoever's paying for it happy?
And your role was instrumental, actually. So when we were sort of growing, and we knew there was that, we had, and it was Olivia actually, who was sort of doing that project manager and account manager role, sort of duo, which was always the plan. And then once we were a little bit bigger, then sort of split that role into two. And the project manager role was the one for me that we really earmarked. So, right, we need someone that was a bit of a jack of all trades, but had an understanding of all forms of marketing, not just social, just email, understood the wealth and breadth of marketing. Yeah. Because a lot of what we do, although it's very much around, obviously, social media, and as Nick said in the last podcast, bottom of funnel is email, which I fucking love. For me, there's a lot more that goes into it around copy, creative, and obviously your time over at Force in Leeds. Actually, there was a lot of creative projects around the emails as well that you were involved in. But that project manager role for us was really important because
there's a lot to do.
There is, and we've moved recently from Asana as a project management tool across to Monday, and we've been working on it, haven't we, Fraz, for MIB, the data side of the business, and it's amazing when you've got a tool that works for you.
It is, yeah. And it's amazing how much better Monday is than some other platforms out there.
So what I've really loved is that the team have really engaged with it, and they've really got on board with it. Because Asana was quite... do you know what? As I look back, it reminds me of Salesforce, of CRMs. It's a brilliant platform, but there's so much to it. You need a degree to figure it out.
It's not very intuitive, is it?
It's just...
not very intuitive at all.
Looking at stuff, and I was like, I know it's here somewhere, but I can't find...
Yeah, whereas Monday...
It's funny he says that because he never messaged me about that when he couldn't find something.
Where the fuck is it?
Just, it's not getting done today. That's
fuck
it.
That. Change the due date.
Push that back. Push
that back. But it has. Everyone's really been on board with it. I've been working on it, say, with Vicky and Jason, because we're moving that side of the business across to it. And it's just, it's already today. It's like, fucking hell, like this is working, this is brilliant. And yeah, once you've got, you know, good project managers and a good project management tool in place like we have now with Monday, and it will always evolve. And even say we set up the forms originally, and already we were like at 3 o'clock went, actually shit, we've missed this and we could add this in. So it will always evolve. And especially with social and email marketing, the goalposts are always moving, whether it's client demands, whether it's, you know, systems, you know, whatever it may be, implementation. Those project management tools will always need to flex to how we as a business need to adapt to essentially deliver for our clients.
Yeah,
like that's what they're.
And that's the other important thing. If you've got something that's going to be 2 months long, you know, I was working on so one of the biggest projects I worked on was probably spanning over the course of about 6 or 7 months. Now, how are you going to remember what are you trying to do 4 months down the line? You're going to forget, and you're gonna go off on a bit of a tangent. You look back at what you're supposed to do. You go, what the friggin' have I been doing here? And then you're lost. So that's the best way to keep it. This is what I need to do. You know, you carry on, you do your bit of work, you look back, okay, this is what I need to do. And then it's just constantly reminding yourself without it being in a notes or an email or lost in bloody, you know, CRMs, all that type of stuff.
Well, especially with soon, like so some of the larger projects we've worked on recently, there's a lot to it. There's a huge amount to it. And, you know, like I said, we've obviously just adopted Monday and we've moved across from Asana, and for us it's been a game changer. You know, I think, you know, Michael, obviously you've worked on both, and, you know, even how you and the studio engage and interact with it now, you know, it's chalk and cheese from Asana, which is brilliant. But, you know, let's go into the crux of today, which I'm really interested in, is email and platforms. And look, there's some amazing platforms out there, and let's give a shout out. You know, you got places like HubSpot, incredible. You got people like Force24, amazing. You know, this, you know, MailChimp even is good. You know, that, you know, for smaller businesses, MailChimp has a purpose. You know, although I'm not a massive fan because of a couple of reasons, and I know they've been bought recently. I know they're changing, but Mandrill that used to own them. But the one we're going to be discussing today is Klaviyo, because a lot of our e-commerce clients have been using Klaviyo, and we've adopted that technology for those. You know, we're on there, and we're obviously running the client accounts on there. But how have you found Klaviyo so far?
I love it. I think Klaviyo is the one for it to be e-commerce. I can't see a lot of other platforms that can keep up with Klaviyo in terms of getting these emails out, because we know that with e-commerce clients, they need to really be getting this information out quickly. And the one thing they need to be able to do is repeat what you're doing, keep the emails familiar, but keep the content of it fresh. And that's where you need to be able to, again, see these key moments. Black Friday is an obvious one, but then you know, for some clients, like one of our bike clients, we know that they have huge motorcycle days in America. So we know there are lots of events that are coming up, which aren't the typical ones, but you need to build those emails quickly, and you need to retarget based on these certain factors. And Klaviyo is the way that you can build those emails quickly. You know they're going to come out good on your mobile, because that's really what it's designed for. And you can find the individuals using Klaviyo and send that list out really, really easily. Now, the two different ways that are the most common is campaigns, batch and blast, get that out, send it to a list, which is a little bit more complicated to it than just, you know, picking a big list. And then the other one is having that automated journeys. So again, this is looking at someone's behavior online. You know, how are they working on your app, which is also an incredible feature in Klaviyo, really powerful if you have your own e-commerce app.
So is that like Shopify?
So you link it to your website using Shopify. Yeah. If you have it, you have WooCommerce, and if you have a custom one, that can be done. It just needs a bit of development time. Yeah. So we know that with an existing client. But for me, it's the best way you can get out to people and get the information you want across and display it nicely, and be confident that when you're sending it, you're not cringing as it's going out thinking, I hope this is catching the right people. Because it is, you know.
So why do you think Klaviyo it's grown just that massive word.
Exponentially.
There you go.
There we go.
It has over the years. Like Nick went to a talk in Birmingham. I didn't go because I was busy. About 4 years ago, and it was actually the owners of Klaviyo there, and it was like 50, not even that, 15, 20 people in the room. Like it was tiny. From then, all I've seen is just growth.
Do
Do
you know what?
Why is that?
I think it's because there are a lot of options on Klaviyo. I think it's because you have a reduction in the number of options you can choose from. I think when you have when you think back about the times when you used to go to Blockbuster, or you had Film 4 on Sky, you had to watch that at 9 o'clock on the Friday, otherwise you weren't going to get it. But that made it more enjoyable than what you've got now with Netflix, Amazon, Disney. You've got so many choices, you don't know what to pick. Now with Klaviyo, you do have a lot of choices. You can go to the app, you do SMS, email, and there's a lot of different automations and decisions you can use. But it is simple. They really emphasize the simplistic features on there, so that you.
So give me some examples.
You stick to the basics. Okay, a great example is just the welcome journey. You can have that a pre-selection. Again, if you've got Shopify, that's integrated well. You can have it that when someone buys something, it sends them a welcome email, and then you have a couple of other emails, either trying to collect information or giving them the background about sort of who we are.
Yeah.
You click that, you set it up. Birthday club email. You can select that. Again, it gives you a preloaded template, but it gives you a really nice idea of, okay, well, what should this actually look like? I didn't realize you could do SMS.
Yeah. So Michael, you've just put this up on the screen for us now. What's the kid off of Joe Rogan? Jamie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Jamie. Fucking love that. We'll never get that big for you to be Michael.
Could you
so I'll
imagine?
never be a smaller podcast. So I'll be like Michael. I'll be shocked.
Just getting a retweet would be.
Okay, so this is all preset. These are good. So they give real good, because that's when I've looked at, and I think everyone can learn from this, even us as an agency, right? So I think it's quite daunting for people that don't know how to email market. They don't know how to run social campaigns. They don't know how to do a PPC campaign or a mail or whatever it may be, is making it, like you said then, like when you used to go on Blockbuster, you'd be sitting there going, and we do it now on Netflix, which is even worse. The only reason we used to get away with it at Blockbuster is because you couldn't be sat in there for 2 hours. You needed a movie to get back home, and rock and roll. But I think what Klaviyo have done well, which is, and again, we can learn from this, which is we're sort of telling them we know what works.
Yeah.
Like they know a welcome journey works. They know a birthday club works. They know an abandoned cart. And I know these seem really simple.
Yeah.
But we were in a meeting last week with a client, and then the marketing manager at the moment was saying, I've just set up a welcome journey. An abandoned cart email. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's pretty simple. Like, why hasn't that been done?
Yeah.
Like, but you don't know what you don't know, do you?
No.
And I think that's why Klaviyo are doing quite well.
Yeah, and you know what? They link extremely well. So if you have, what's a great example on this one? So if you have, you set up Klaviyo for the first time, you're doing email marketing for the first time, how do you know who's engaged? Well, you're going to have to send emails to people to figure out if they're engaged or not. Now, the ISP stuff, that should be a part of the warm-up. You should be able to get that done. But the great thing about the list is everyone who's bought is going to open that thank you email. And so then what do we see? 70, 80% open rates? A number of them click through, maybe put in their extra details if they need it. But all of a sudden then, everyone who's coming in, you're building up that engaged list where you say, okay, show me people who've opened an email 2 times in the last 45 days, or they've opened and clicked in the last 45 days. Now, that welcome email is a perfect way to start getting that list. And there's going to be every purchase is going to be coming in, either from the website or from your CRM. That's sending it over to Klaviyo. Now, when you start coming through these lists here, what are you then going to do after? Okay, they're starting to open. Let's do a monthly email send. Who are we going to send to? We're going to send to those who have opened and clicked. Or we're going to send, 2 emails instead of 4 over this month to people who have opened, but they've not clicked. And so each of these lists that they've created, you really then just start to see, okay, well, that welcome comes into there so that I can go to the newsletter. And then the newsletter, because it's been 30 days since they've last purchased, okay, perfect. Well, then they're going to be going onto the website. They're going to be hit. Then, what's that? Browser abandonment, cart abandonment. all of a sudden then you're feeding that list again, and they're coming through this cycle, and without pestering them so much, you can say, okay, well, they've gone through that browser retargeting. Don't let them through again if they do it in the next 15 days. And you get them through, and that list grows naturally.
So those lists then, are those lists preset?
No, you've got to create them. However, there are, again, Klaviyo is one of the only ones where they've actually given a good breakdown. Some of it's a little bit complicated for the longer stuff, but the simple list, how to find those who are really engaged, middle tier engagers. They talk you through it, and like this now, look how simple this is. You immediately know exactly what this section is going to be talking about, and they do that for the list that you want to create. They show you very specific examples, and again, if you do have a paid for account, you get the live chat. It's fantastic. Just to give it, ask the guys to give them a once over. But these lists are built by you, and the best thing about following these lists is that you start to have a bit of a play around. You start to see, okay, well, what if I find out people who have, bought, X amount in the last 30 days? How much did they engage? Or when did someone last finish spending with us? Between sort of 19 and 180 days ago. What could that reason be for?
Yeah, because it seems so simple. Like, we're looking here, aren't we? And I know we discussed on the last podcast around building a list, and what people seem to forget, and actually this is a really good point, because a lot of people will buy an email platform, they'll set up the retargeting, abandoned cart emails, but if they don't have the emails, they can't send the email a lot of the time.
No, they can't.
And people forget this. So, and they buy into, it's a abandoned cart email. And I've sat down with people going, oh yeah, but I'm going to buy Klaviyo or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but if you don't have the email, you can't send it. Like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if you don't have, it's not everyone that comes to
they can send it to themselves, yeah.
Yeah, like you can't, like Klaviyo doesn't hold a database of every single consumer in the UK.
No.
So
no.
Unless they put it in, you can't send it.
Well, this is the cool bit actually. We're testing this now with a customer of ours who so that bit there. If you have a website, you've got your cookie. You come to the website, James. You have no idea who you are. We put a cookie on you, and then we say, okay, this person X, has looked at all of these different things. And then, you start then getting, say, a few hundred people on because you've got a Facebook ad going. We had a look at the amount of orders that were placed. So we've got, the last 30 days, we had $2,000 worth of add to carts. Now, we have a cart abandonment journey. Do you know how many we sent out to?
For what client?
For the running one.
Product?
For the running,
okay.
yeah, running. So lots of different things, accessories,
I don't know the
shoes,
volumes
socks.
of emails, so I'd be lying if I said.
Okay, so £2,000 in the last 30 days have been added to cart. And when someone adds to cart, 2 hours later, we send them an email.
Yeah.
So we had 4 people go on the cart abandonment. Now, there's no way between 4 people they've put in $500 worth of socks in gels. There's just no chance. But what it is showing is that there are people on your website who are looking at this and adding it and going, either waiting for that, probably doing what Nick said, waiting for that email. But, you've got to give us your fucking email first, otherwise you're not going to get it.
Exactly.
You need to give us the email. So the what we're trying now is, rather than doing a retarget on Facebook to say, you forgot something in your cart, buy this now, because we can't give them a code. And not only that, if they do buy it, obviously they're going to give us the email. But what's going to be cheaper? Giving them the discount, retarget, this is what we're doing, we're retargeting those who have added to cart and say, you can get $10 off when you spend $80 or more if you give us your email. And then what Klaviyo would do is, because you've got your cookie and it's much less of a conversion, I've either got to spend $100 or $90 because your product's going to be more, or I'd given them my email and then I get $10 off when I do want to eventually spend it. And then all of a sudden, when they give you that email and you load that into your list, because you can just fire it straight back to Klaviyo because you've got a form, Facebook integrates with Klaviyo, sends it straight back. All the information you've got because you've been on our website in the last 30 days, all of that's appended. And then what you're going to do, you're going to then start going the browser abandonment, the cart abandonment.
Yep.
And then when they buy, brilliant. Okay, we'll kick them out of that journey for a few days or for a few weeks, and then we'll start them back up on the nurturing one. But that's going to be a lot easier. And not only that, you're targeting people who have added to your cart, but they're waiting for the email. But of course, they've never added their email, so we can't send them an email. So this is a great way to very easily convert those people into a list that we're not renting anymore. Now we're sending.
What I love is, like, I know, Michael, you just put this on the board in terms of reporting. And I know all these platforms give reporting to a level. What I like about Klaviyo from an e-commerce perspective is it's very clean.
It is.
And you can't really get, like, we know marketing, the reason why we set this up originally, this particular podcast, was, I'm fed up of people just putting a fucking a screenshot on LinkedIn and going, I made a client there, with no context to it. They could have spent 990,000 to create £1 million of revenue. It makes no odds.
Yeah.
Like, there's no context to it. I see so many at the moment going, I've increased this account by like 400% the last week. Well, last week it was raining and now it's hot and you sell umbrellas. So of course it's going to go down. Like, just shit like that. Like, what planet are you on? So what I like about Klaviyo is, because it looks APIing into Shopify, and the partnership they have now is incredible. And I know MailChimp now are back in with Shopify, which is great. But look how easy this is. You can see what value that email list, which we discussed on the last episode with Nick, is giving to your e-commerce business. Like, it's so simple. And it's amazing, isn't it? Like, look how clear that is. You can put a real ROI against email. Like a tangible figure. Yeah,
it's really strong, and they even have a testing feature on there as well. So, typically you would look at, let's have a look at weekdays. Let's see how morning, afternoon, and evenings work. 7 till 9, 12 till 2, 7 till 10 p.m. Now you can do that and run it through the week, run it over the weekend. But Klaviyo also has now where you can break that up so that it will test that over the 24 hours in the day.
Have we tested that for anyone?
We're in the midst of actually testing that one now to see how that works. So that's actually a new feature. But if you're not good at marketing, or you're starting up yourself, or you don't have enough money to outsource to an agency and you want to, just for the minute, get that going, you can put that in place. And you don't have to worry about then, why do I need to test? Why would I want to test between 7 and 9 in that time? You don't need to worry about that too much. You just need to know that in that 24 hours on a Monday, 8 a.m. is the best time. And again, that's when you can keep doing these tests throughout the year. While we're in summer, we're in autumn, we're in winter, And
I test, even with my LinkedIn post, I'm trialing different times at the moment when to post out my post.
Yeah.
And it is quite interesting. I'm finding some.
What time are you finding is the best?
If I had to guess, I would have said evenings. That's when people would finish work.
Yeah, well, I tested it on a Sunday a couple of weeks ago. I got really good engagement. I can't,
Sunday's good. Yeah.
I can't figure it out, if I'm being honest.
It's probably a bit of randomness.
I've not got enough data, and the data I have got is inconclusive.
Yeah.
Because also, I don't know if the content that isn't performing is dog shit. So I'm not doing a true split test.
Yeah. Well, or it could be 4:30 on a weekday, and they want to look like they're not playing on their phone. Fuck LinkedIn.
Problem is, I think everyone posts in the morning, so I'm like, don't know about that. But anyway. But yeah, again, Mike, you've got a screenshot here of the list segmentation and how to segment. And again, it's just easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You were saying then, Fraser, about outsourcing to an agency. Is marketing managers, small business owners listen to, especially in the e-commerce space, is there are platforms out there that are amazing like Klaviyo. But you've got to set them up correctly for them to work properly and actually get a good ROI. So if you're not very tech savvy, don't set it up, pay someone to do it.
I think yes, for that one. You are you're going to benefit. You're going to benefit because otherwise, if you're paying for that month, because you're paying for the system rental, and then you're also paying for the number of active in emails you send. Now, we know people who have got it who have tons of clients and they don't do any email marketing. They're almost exclusively word of mouth. And when they do finally get round to it, they're shocked to know that they're going to be sending.
Michael, can you pull up the pricing for Klaviyo? Because look into an agency. Even if you were to get the agency to set it up, forget about the ongoing. You could set the emails up, and there's enough templates there. I truly believe that you could get it going, can't you, to a level that you're going to see some return. But in terms of pricing, this is in American dollars here, so
dependent again by how many
Yeah, so let's say you did 2,500 to 3,000. Just use that as an example, right? So $100 a month, right, for email and SMS. It's cool. Right, so look, 3,000, right? Let's just work out 3,000, okay? I shouldn't even have a camera for this, really. So 3,000, 3% of your market, okay, is in market at one point. So that's 90 people, yeah. So in every day there should be 90 people wanting your product, give or take. Well, if you're emailing that 90 every single day, or when they're in market, based on the rules and the segmentations that you've put in place. You should, if you would send, let's say you send 90 people to your website because they're people in market. Let's just use that as just a random figure. You'd like to think 10% of those would convert, give or take.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not. If we know they're in market, you've already got their email address. They're already a client or a prospect at some point. They know of you. Well, that's 9 sales, and if your average add to cart is $50, that's $450 from one email sent based on 3,000 subscribers. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah.
And I've just,
absolutely.
again, those figures I've just pulled out from thin air there, and that's based on $50. Now, if your margin is 25%, well, you've paid for that. You've paid off one email, you've paid that monthly fee. That's it.
Yeah. You have,
I thought it would be more than that.
Email's cheap, Michael.
Very cheap.
I thought it'd be more than that for Klaviyo, because I feel like with a lot of stuff you see where it's like $250 a month or something for
But you'd have to go if you go to the breakdown, Michael. So if you click on that, go to 40 to 50. Yeah.
This is contacts, isn't it, as well? So you got $665.
Yeah.
And look at that, you can send 400,000 monthly email sends.
Yeah.
What's this monthly credits thing?
SMS.
That's the SMS.
Yeah. They're a little bit more expensive.
SMS
A little bit more.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, $665 is not a lot of money if you've got 400,000. If it is a little bit expensive, in terms of cost per email. But
Well, if you've got 40,000 contacts, yeah, it's going to be, that's still not bad.
400,000 emails a month, that's a lot.
well, look at that. Do the 3% rule, and then 10% of convert.
Yeah.
You're making that back easily
Yeah.
without any struggles.
Well, do you know what we that running company we did actually? They do I think it's about $370, and we did just a web pop up, and you're right, that sort of stuff. How do you link it in, get it into the list, and you know what? We got that set up in that web pop up, had it feed into a list, had that going out through a journey, and we got that set up within a few days. That would have taken you, if you had no idea. Again, with that side of things, I've got about 6 years experience now with emails and understanding how that works. But
that's already given a positive ROI, because you called me and said I've got some sales from that.
We got from a pop up which collected about 10 emails and sent out 2 emails. We got $500 from 2 emails.
And how much? And how much how much was that investment for the client?
That was $370
Okay, so they've made a profit
already
of $130.
Yeah. That's
a clip.
Yeah.
And that's
and you're right about the bit that becomes tricky. I think the batch and blast email send, that can, if you know how to build emails, that's another thing. If you don't know how to build emails, it's going to be a little bit tricky. But again, even their build is pretty good. But the bit that makes it, you really have to put the time to think about this, is the automations. I know the welcome flows, because it's great having a welcome flow, but it's all the bits that come after that. Okay, then if you have a retargeting, and I'm doing a batch and blast, and then I've got a cart abandonment and a browser abandonment, and then I've got a form abandonment thing that's going on over here. All of a sudden, are we going to be sending people 5-6 emails in a day unsubscribing? Then you're fucked, because then you're back to renting their eyeball.
But
it's knowing that automation, and when do you start someone, when do you get rid of them, or when do you stop for a minute and let yourself run? And that does come with a bit of planning. Now the automations, if you can get the basics down, the batch and blast stuff really just is a nicety then, because every time you're going out, it's going out to those who are engaged.
Well, like you said, it's a nice to have. But I'm, obviously Nick on the last one was, we've come from quite a cutthroat market, and I still believe that there is a market there for businesses to oversubscribe and over email, because again, if I use Sport Pursuit, we were talking on the last one, I want them to email me, but I'm never engaging unless I need something. But I use them as an example all the time because they're brilliant. I'm not in market all the time. I probably buy from them twice a year now, maybe 3-4 times at best. But I'm not going to go anywhere else. But I don't want them to. If they were to only email their engaged list, I would never be on it. Never be on it.
Yeah. The stats,
just I would be a waste of time, but I'm not. I'm not a waste of time. I want them because otherwise I'm going to subscribe.
And then that's the next bit as well. Once you've got that super engaged list, the reason why that's good is when you do want to go out to people. I mean, we have some that are when they haven't engaged for the past 90 days. We feed that back up to those people because we've just gotten 50-60% open rates. We can afford to now send mass emails, and we know that some people won't be opening. We'll kick people out who are blacklisted. Spam traps is what we call them. But for those who aren't engaging, because Google, especially Google, Microsoft as well, they're notoriously difficult. Because we've got those deliverability rates really high, we can then send that mass email. And we can send it to those people. And then Google and Microsoft go, well, that looks all right. Yeah, let them in.
But that's why it's good using Klaviyo.
But you need to build up that list. And you're right. It can be a bit different when you've got someone who's massive. When they are an absolute powerhouse. You think about Nike. You probably be happy to receive their emails all the time because it doesn't feel bad. It's almost like a household name.
Yeah.
But when you are bringing that bit up, having that bit first, giving you, having an absolute killer score of 98%, 99% deliverability, you can send those other emails out and you're not going to get penalised.
Well, that's why when we speak on the last podcast around, how do you get and build that email list, competitions, birthday clubs, they're not going to give you the wrong email addresses.
No.
Like yesterday.
No.
Like when I did mine for Brooks, it's an old email I've never opened. God knows how many emails I've got on there. But I've deleted that and put my right one in because I want to win. I want to know if I've won. So
not Erky Turkey, is it?
Not Erky Turkey, no. But they would have lost me if I'd have used that one. I wouldn't have looked. They've lost me. I've no interest in it.
Yeah.
But I've actually gone because there's a compelling story for me to put my email address in, not just, I'll just go along for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But no, Klaviyo, to end this, Klaviyo, for me, is tier 1 for e-commerce businesses, I think.
100%.
I know there's other platforms out there, but for the ones that we've used and we've tested for e-commerce, I don't think there's anything better out there.
Speed and simplicity, I think, are the only two things I can say about it. That makes it, it just works. That's the thing with it. It just works.
That should be their tagline. Yeah. It just works.
It just works. It does. You put it up, you build an email, it's got 2 blocks, got 2 columns, stick an image in, send it out.
But marketing managers just want something that just works.
Yeah.
I know that sounds really simple. They want it to work.
Yeah, they do.
It will make the money, but it just works.
But because you don't want to think in friggin' code.
Is there a tagline?
This is just general taglines for the...
Oh, okay. But no, it just works. Because tech's hard. Unless you're a dev... you don't want,
it's a ball ache. It's a ball ache to try and looking at code and thinking, what the friggin' hell do I do here? It's like that. I mean, look at that. You just drop it in.
Just like drag and drop, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're quite tech savvy, and even I sometimes go on some platforms and go, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. All the different blocks.
Oh, lordy lord, yeah.
But I've got some background in it. If you would just say normal, and I don't mean if you were a marketing manager and you've got a million things to do, you want something that just works.
Yeah, because I wouldn't know if somebody was from a visual perspective how to build all these sections. I imagine with an email something like there where they've just dragged in a product thing. I imagine if you were coding that I wouldn't have any idea how to do.
No.
Oh, Michael, you know, it's
Because and you're looking at it as, okay, what am I going to be getting? If I'm Mr. Smith and I'm going to be getting this email, okay, it's going to look like that. Okay, great. You look at HTML code, you go, what the friggin' hell is this?
You don't know
What is it going to look like? Yeah, what's it going to look like? And you don't know. But as soon as you've got that built there and you drop it in, you know, it does just work. And it's that, like you said, that should be the tagline. It just works.
It just works.
It just works.
Klaviyo, you can have that.
Just like
Free of
that's
charge.
free.
Yeah.
That's free. Well, this is your first appearance, Fraser, on the podcast.
And is it the last?
Definitely. Definitely not. Well, so did you I put that video on our channel the other night. Did you watch it all?
Yeah, I read the transcript.
But you didn't watch it?
No, but I read the transcript.
Why did you read the chat? That's why I did the video, because I didn't think people would want to read it.
I've got to admit, I'd read the transcript as well.
Well, you didn't. No, he didn't, because he didn't know anything about today.
I just didn't read all of it. Plus, I'm really heavily dyslexic and it doesn't change it very well.
Brilliant. Well, I did that video because I thought I'd just finished my run. I thought, right, actually,
I wanted to see what it was about.
I
don't know if it was relevant to me, because I thought...
it's relevant to everybody if it's on that channel, which I then put at channel, please watch. I can't make it any more relevant to you.
No,
Everyone
I
who's
did read that bit.
Oh, good. I'm glad you read that. So today I'm like, he's like, what are we? I'm like, yes, Fraser. It's on the video, but
it shows you just don't have enough time in the day to,
we
mess
need
about with these silly comments in videos.
Michael,
Send me a Klaviyo built email about that.
we must need a better project manager. There you go. It's the end of that one. But no, we're going to get one member of staff each month.
I did see that bit.
Well done, Michael. And you're the first. I'm really interested to get Jake on here, but I don't. He's going to have to. We're going to beg him to come on.
We'll have to get him drunk beforehand, I think. I think every time he
Getting you
stumbles-
on, I think this is going to help. I think
You're the trial layer.
Yeah.
I think we're going to struggle with Jake. I know if we're going for a tangent now, and Sonia.
Sonia.
The two cleverest people in the agency.
You probably want to know the most from.
They could add more value than any of us.
Yeah.
But
They're excellent at talking to people, but put them in front of a camera and fold. Yeah.
So anyway, Fraser, that's it. Podcast done.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
Cheers.
Over and out.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers, Fraz.